So first thing we have somebody ask, how do we do the pineapple management? Crop management is a big issue. In agriculture universities, we have actually have a crop department just for the manage. How do you cultivate? How do you manage the soil, plants, pesticides, everything together? Basically, it's always have, as we discussed, for the crop management, the most important thing is we need to understand the triangle. The soil, the crop, nutrients, or the environment. So what do you have? What fertilizer? You need to understand your fertilizer. What kind of fertilizer you have? What kind of pesticides you have? What crop you have? It's a multi-year crop, like trees, fruit trees, or 1 year, only one growing season. And in the crop, it also have life stage. In the early season, middle season, or flower or fruiting season. And also we need to watch the insects, insect pests, and diseases. So this is all put together consideration. For the pineapple, we should have relatively easy life cycle, have a little bit more small plants to start flowering and fruiting. Almost all the crops, agriculture crops, you can divide into two major crop types. One is you harvesting fruits or seeds, which means you are harvesting the reproductive seed parts of the organ of the plants. So it's you harvesting seeds and fruits. Another type, you harvesting the vegetative parts. You're harvesting the leaves, like tea and or tobacco. You don't harvest the seeds. So when you harvest that, and then your objective to manage the system is different. When you target vegetative leaves or stems, like sugarcane, you get the stems. Potato actually is a stem too. So when you target the stems, you kind of like you don't care too much about the late stage of the plants botanical cycle. So your vegetative growth is very long, extended. Then when you need that, you will need mostly, you need the leaves bigger, your stem larger, longer or heavy. So you need a lot of nitrogen by base nutrients. Fertilizer are the nutrients like we have for the human. Food, rice, anything is our food and these are nutrients. So for the pineapple, we are harvesting the fruits. But most of the fertilizers are, a lot of fertilizers we are using are nitrogen, more towards the nitrogen. And also, and phosphate and potassium. NPK is the largest, they are the largest amount of nutrients plants need. For P and K is most important for the later season, for the fruits and the flowers. For the nitrogen is in the earlier season. Of course, it's the entire season. So nitrogen is kind of the most used. When people talk about the fertilizer, people mostly think nitrogen. So this is when we harvest the fruits, then if we have the nitrogen based amino acids or NOPF fertilizer, we will basically focus on the earlier season. Even you use the other fertilizer, you only can apply in the early season anyway. You cannot apply too much in the late season. So this is basically all the principles applies almost every crop. For pineapple management, the first thing that we need to do is soil testing or check up your soil to see is this soil to fit your crop. Like a blueberry. Blueberry is like acidic soil. This pineapple is prefer pH equal to 4.5 to 6.5. For blueberry, even lower, around 4.5 to 5.5, like one level lower. So blueberry is more critical if your soil pH even too close to the neutral, too close to the 7. Then you have to change your soil. You adjust, modify your soil, make their pH a little bit lower. So when we do the soil testing, we have two objectives. One is the nutrient level, to see what you're missing. A lot of times, soil actually have a lot of nutrients in it anyway. When you have a lot of nutrients in it, you may don't need to apply too much fertilizer. A lot of time, the fertilizers and nutrients in the soil cannot be used by plants. So we need to help them to make them available. One of the easiest way is to give them water. We give them water, nitrogen or other water-soluble nutrients will be available for plants to use. Some not water-soluble nutrients, if you give them water, you help the microorganisms to transformation of your potassium, phosphate, or other trace elements into a water-soluble. It's available for plant use. So water is the #1 use for plants in the soil or on the plants. Help the plants itself to need water, also help the nutrients become available for plants. So this soil testing, you should have soil testing. You don't have to test every field sometimes. Of course, for the modern agriculture, for the future of agriculture is precision agriculture. You need to know exactly each plot, each field, what their nutritional profiles. Like we do the blood test, urine test every year. I just did it last week. So make sure all your blood parameters are normal. Anything abnormal, and then you need to pay attention or work on it, or you need to take some medicine. Or if your calcium level is low or vitamin D level is low, then you need to take the vitamin D3 plus the calcium. So vitamin 3 is more important than a lot of time, maybe just if only calcium alone. Same principle apply for the soil, for the crops. So the soil testing, if you don't have the soil testing equipment or you don't have the money to do that, you can compare the color, dig them out to see the soil structure. If the soil structure, if we have enough organic material. If the soil too hard, like solidify, like cement, the water, air is not moving, and you don't need to do a test. It's a poor soil. So you just add anything, you will never get it be too much. So you always try to put a lot of organic material inside, into soil. For apply the nutrients, most time is only for plants to use, not necessarily enough to enrich, to improve your soil quality. To improve your soil quality, you have to do a lot of things. Maybe I talk about it for the second topic. So this is pH. Second is nutrients. The nutrients requirements, we have NPK, Ca, Mg, Fe. This is all the major macronutrients or micronutrients. Macronutrients or micronutrients. These are kind of apply all the crops. As we said, nitrogen is for the green stuff. So you always apply in the soil for the basal, and after you plant germinate or plant start growing, you apply on the foliar or apply in the soil. For our fertilizer, our NOPF is we apply on the leaf as a foliar application. That's the cheapest way to do it. If we apply in the soil, we may not economic-wise efficiency. So we apply on the leaf regularly. Phosphate, the basic function is supporting a lot of enzymatic actions, a lot of ATP for the energy, for the molecular biology purpose. In ATP, you need a lot of P in it. If we don't have P, it will not work. And for the plant physiology, they're supporting the root development and it's the fruiting. So potassium is also is very important for development, fruit development, and actual plant resistance. A lot of fruits, the quality of the fruits actually depend on if your potassium K deficiency, your fruit may have less quality, lower quality, or less quantity. It's not in a lot. So it's important, but the P and the K, a lot of time it's not water soluble. When you apply a late season, it will not give you immediate reaction. You don't get it. So you will need to put P and K before you plant, put in the soil all the time. Take several months, walk into the soil, make them available for plants to take it. But still, if you forget or you didn't put enough in the soil, you still can side dressing P and K in the late season before flooding, during the flower season, peak blooming season. If some formulation of the fertilizer, here in US, we have some fertilizer, NPK, all water soluble. They make it water soluble. It's not a granular like a rock. You put a P and K, they all dissolved in the water. So these things you can apply in the growing season or late season. If you apply solid NPK granule, then you need to go earlier. You have to put in the soil. Yesterday, I went to store. First, I went to Walmart. I want to buy 10-10-10 NPK. They don't have anything in the store. And I went to Home Depot. They have nothing either. They sort out all the fertilizers. So this, because right now here, we are in middle of June, it's already all the plants in the soil for the northeast US. So people already put all the base fertilizer in the soil in March. Basically, you will put all these NPK in the soil before you planting anything, because this is a one season early nutrients you need to put in the soil. The calcium is a lot of time actually some plants, if you deficiency in the calcium, you will see the fruits rotting. I had some several years, my tomatoes rotting. The tomato, this is a tomato. Actually, the bottom part, it become black, rotted. So it was deficiency of the calcium. This is not a tomato. I make a shape like a tomato. So when you see tiny, small fruits, tomato, you see rotting at the bottom, which means you are calcium deficiency. Or your soil pH, when you work on soil pH, you add calcium in it. The thing is, when you add too much calcium, you change your soil pH. When you change the soil pH, pineapple didn't like it, blueberry didn't like it. Many acidic soil requirement plants didn't like you to put too much calcium because you increase your pH. So calcium kind of like you test the soil. Your soil said you are running low calcium. You need to add them. If you're not running low, don't add them because you will make change your pH. And another thing is the iron. For pineapple also have problem. It's very sensitive to if you are deficiency in iron. So that's thing when most time we don't pay attention on this kind of chassis or middle class elements. We only pay attention on NPK, the large quantity of the nutrients. We don't pay too much about calcium, iron, magnesium, all this stuff, but they are important. So they can't work based on if you put in or not, based on your soil testing. They don't need a lot. They need it, but they need it. The difference is 0, 1 difference. It's not like a 1 to 10 difference. If 0, no good. If we add a 1, it's good. Basically, yes or no. You do have in the soil? No. You need to add it. Do you have it in the soil? You say yes. Then you got it. You got it. They don't need a lot. The lucky things you have is NOPF. We have trace elements in it. And when you spray NOPF, not only apply the amino acids or nitrogen fertilizer, also apply the trace elements. This is a lot of people didn't realize that's so important, so good a feature of the NOPF. The trace elements, because in the spray, we have the trace elements. You can keep a spray all the time. You don't need to worry about the overdosage because we are relatively low volume spray. And you spray on the leaf, you are not changing your soil pH. If you apply too much calcium or stuff in the soil, you may change your soil pH. But when you apply NOPF, you will not change soil pH. You will change, not directly change. You can change the soil pH indirectly by reducing use other large quantity of nutrients or fertilizer. You use NOPF change soil pH by indirect results, not direct. You are not pumping your NOPF in the soil to change your soil pH. You will not. But because you use your soil pH, because NOPF, your soil pH will be back to normal level because you didn't use too much overdose of your chemical fertilizer or anything else. So this is the indirect results of your soil pH improvements. So the timing of the pineapple fertilizer. As we say on this, we have early season or later season. The same thing, we have a pamphlet, the 3-4 pamphlets. We have several major, like 12 or 10, 12 major crops we discuss. Pineapple is also the same thing. It's we have depends on the life stage or the growing season. The first is like we just talked, work on the soil. Work on soil. You see the important, I put a NPK into soil because we need to take a long time to work on it. If you are not organic farming, you are not selling your products labeled as organic, you can combine conventional fertilizer and organic fertilizer, put them good integration. Put your conventional fertilizer in the soil before planting. Then after plants started growing, then you use NOPF. So conventional in the soil, organic liquid fertilizer in the later season, in the after growing season. So this way, you have enough P and K in the soil, work a long time by the microorganisms, make them available for plant use. And also, we can use compost and manure. These are very important for soil structure. NPK, conventional fertilizer, is also have big impact on the soil structure because if we use too much NPK, your soil become more acidic, more solid, and the more non-organic. So you need to add a lot of compost and manures. Compost and manures, when you also if you can make your own compost or manure. Manure, you can harvest the manure, but you don't use fresh plant vegetables or plant material or fresh manure into the soil. That have a lot of issues. One issue is weeds. For the compost and the manures, they have animals eat all kinds of stuff. A lot of seeds they bypass come out of in the manure, a lot of seeds in it. So if we use fresh manure, actually these seeds will germinate. You got a lot of weed problem. The compost is the same thing. You have a lot of weeds come from the compost if they are not mature, not aged. That's why we want to use matured, ripened compost and the manures. By the fermentation, by the compost, the tiny, they can kill 90% or most of the seeds, most of weed seeds, any seeds. Also, they can kill a lot of insects and plant diseases. The plant pathogens and the insects, they are a lot in the soil, a lot in the plant material, a lot in the manure. If you apply fresh, you will have a problem. Not only with the seeds, you have a lot of diseases. You're spreading the diseases, or spreading insects, or spreading nematodes to your new field, new plants. Sometimes, yeah, this is disaster. You really don't want to do it. So that's why you should pile up all the plant material. Let them, because if you can, seal them with the mud. Then let them fermentation. Inside the temperature will be high, very high. Sometimes actually burning, or can set a fire. That's why you don't want to put compost near your any flammable building or water or something structure together. You make it set a fire. It's a very high temperature. They can fire. So you put a compost and manure, let them totally matured. After the high temperature, because it's sealed, a lot of microorganisms, they work on it. They can keep the high temperature and the microorganism, they can kill most seeds, weed seeds, insects, insect eggs, nematodes, bacteria, virus, and fungi. So then you can be safe. So this is organic stuff, looks like very good. You may get trouble if you are not using correctly. The correct way to use compost and manure is let them mature, then use. This is for the weeds, for the pests, insects, and diseases. Also have the nutritional problem if you put a not matured, not aged plant material or manure. When they do the fermentation, they need more nitrogen. They're supposed to give you a lot of nutrients for plants, but during their working, they actually need more nutrients for themselves. So you are trying to give the nutrients to the plants, but you give the raw material on your soil. This organic material, the compost or manure, they actually depleting. They use your fertilizer, your nutrients. These are supposed to be used by your crop, not by this manures and compost. So different stage of the compost, they have different nutritional value. Only when they matured, they can be kind of a fertilizer. in the early stage, they actually compete nutrients with you. So that's also one part of you don't want to put unmatured compost or manures in the soil. In the growing season, we have early season or fruiting season. This is, as we discussed, this is important that we want saying, we understand that our fertilizer are amino acids. We can label them as nitrogen-based fertilizer plus a lot of other functions, but it's a more early. You apply a lot of NPF, you can be, the leaf is much greener, the stem much better, everything is good. So in the early season, we can only apply in the early season, up to flowering season. After the flower, then after the blooming, we can stop. We can apply as normally, monthly. Or if you find you didn't put enough NPK in the soil before you plant. So in the growing season, you still can add something, NPK, into your soil, not spray. We spray NPF on the leaves, but we put NPK in the soil. In the blooming season, if you still can, if you want, you still can add some more PNK rich, not need nitrogen. Sometimes the boric B also is important for the fruiting, but PNK, if we apply in the later season, if pre-fruiting season is already late. But if we forget, if we didn't have, and if we see the symptom, you need it, you still can add something in it. It may not work. So NPK is also best way put in the before planting season, not in the later season. And the general principle is NPK, compost, organic manure in before planting, NPF after the planting. NPF you can apply monthly until your peak blooming, and you can stop. You need to watch your color of your pineapple. If your leaves have some not green, not a normal color, which means you have nutritional deficiency. If you test the soil, you only test one spot. You didn't test the whole entire field. So you may miss it. So you still need to watch your leaf color. Normally, if a yellow color is nitrogen deficiency, but many times are not nitrogen deficiency, it's a water issue. Sometimes either too much water or too little water. You will not see a lot of time. You suppose on the edge of the field, your leaf should be more greener because they have more open space. They are free to much better condition. But a lot of time you see yellow leaves on the side, on the corner of the field, which means it's not it's something your operation. Either you miss the corner when you apply the fertilizer, or that corner is too dry, a lot of water issue. So when you see a lot of yellow, you need to see where it's located. The general principle is see if the whole plants, whole entire field, or entire corner, leaf color change. That's a nutritional issue or water issue. If the leaf color, not the whole plants, only have spotted, some plants, some spotted plants, some plants have color change, some plants, some leaf not change. If not entire, if not a systematic leaf color change, this may be the pathogenic issue. It's not a nutritional issue. Nutritional issue, including the fertilizer and the water. Water is nutrients too. So nutritional deficiency normally have entire plants or whole corner, the bigger, a lot of plants, same symptoms. If the plant diseases, pathogenic issue, result from the leaf color change will be spotted, not systematic, not every leaf, not every plant, only some plants, some top plants, some leaves, top leaves, or some flowers, some very tender leaves, or some fungus actually go to lower leaves. So when you get a lower leaves, a lot of leaf color change, like eggplant, like tomatoes, you may want to cut all these leaves out, take them out, don't leave them in the field. They may have a lot of fungus on the back of your leaf. So this is what you need. As a plant protection, plant doctor, you need to see how do you diagnose, how do you tell what the problem is. So this is for the pineapple. We discuss all this about any questions on this. So quiet. No questions.
Yes, Professor, we have some questions in the chat box.
Okay, let me check. Okay. Okay, first, why are we still not having the product in South Africa? You want to answer?
Yes, we are, the registration of the product is going on. So after registration, we are going to officially introduce the NOPF.
Second, okra farmers use the organic manure and NOPF to harvest. Okra is another thing we need to think. What's your crop? Okra crop, you harvest the fruits. So this is a different special crop compared to the pineapple. This okra you can continue harvesting. So if you pick one, you keep picking one. You don't pick it if you forget. If you start too old, you cannot chew it, you not eat it. You keep flowering, keep pick. Okra is supposed to be same as cotton. Keep flowering, keep picking, keep floating, keep picking. So you can apply NOPF, organic manure in the soil, always. That's organic manure in the soil because you change your soil quality, soil nutrients, providing not only nutrients, actually improve, change your soil structure. NOPF you can apply every 2 or 3 weeks. Then until you blooming, after you maybe first pick or couple picks. When you after the major pick, you can still maybe the last time you spray. So you can spray your fertilizer NOPF until you peak 2 weeks after the peak flowering, blooming season. You can spray, keep continue. And after the peak of blooming, then we starting going down. It's time you don't need to spray anymore. How many times can it be applied in years? Every year, normally we should spray NOPF 3-4 times, no more than 5 times. You don't need. If your growing season very long, you can evenly distribute it. How many times you spray? What's the intervals? Basically, you spray, apply your fertilizer before blooming season. If you harvest the seeds, almost every fertilizer, you don't need to spray, don't need to apply any fertilizer after the fruiting. So NOPF especially, we are nitrogen, labeled as nitrogen, so it's only apply in the vegetative growth. So remember, all the crops, all the plants have two phases of life cycle. One is the vegetative phase. It's kind of a young adult kids, not mature yet. When you get 13, 15 years old, they are matured. So after matured, you don't need to apply nutrients anymore. Yes, our fertilizer doing wonders. That's great. My question is below: can we still use NPK compound fertilizer alongside NPK, or what should we get best? Yeah, that's why. Do we still use the conventional NPK? Yes. We should combine NPK and NOPF together. NPK you put into the soil before planting. You can add NPK 1 or 2 times during the growing season, add into the soil, but it's take for a long time to be actually usable for plants because it's nitrogen N is always immediately available for plants. P and K is not. They take a long time. That's why you need to put in the soil and let them walk into the soil, make them available for plants. So I will use 4 doses of NPK plus organic material, manure, compost into soil before plant. After you plant, after the seeds are germinated, the growing season, you can use NOPF. Is it one use both? Yeah. Well, yeah, best case is combine, that's what I just said, put NPK in the soil before planting. And after that, put NPK, normally put 1 time a season. Either put in the plants in the soil, or if you are before planting, or if you have multi-year crop, you can before growing season, before the raining season, you put NPK into the soil. And after that, you use NOPF, spray on the leaf. Is there any side effects on putting our NOPF? Hold on, it moved. With other kind of, yeah, it's a no side effect. It's always beneficial. It's an extra 1 + 1 = 3, more than 2. So conventional fertilizer or any other fertilizer plus NOPF will get a much better results. Only since you don't combine them together, use same time because they are different formulation. NOPF is very efficient. You spray actually relatively low volume, low quantity. You apply only 1 ml to 1 liter. You don't waste anything. You just spray on the leaf, plants take it. And PK into soil take a long time to work on. You need a large quantity put into soil. Plus, you make sure your soil is moisture. If not moisture, your NPK will not work. We train our maize farmers to do first spray 2 weeks after germination, 2 weeks after first spray, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's good. Your maize, you don't want to, maize need a lot of nutrients because you think about it, how short the time the plants from the seedling to the huge plants is a very short time. So that's why they need a lot of nutrients. Make sure you put enough nutrients, NPK or green manure or compost into soil before you plant. My hometown, what we did is we actually growing the peas, alfalfa, the green manure, the whole field to the like 3 feet, 4 feet tall, very high. And we don't harvest anything. We don't turn entire pea or alfalfa into the soil. Actually, the corn field, totally raised because a lot of fresh green leaves buried inside. Then we put the seeds on top. Actually, seeds you should not touch the green stuff or manure. That's what we just discussed. The fresh manure or fresh plant materials, they will compete your soil nutrients. So also the temperature issue. You don't want anything to in contact with your seedlings. And so you put a lot, and after the germinate, you spray, like you said, every other weeks until you see the corn started silk come out. You should stop. After the silk come out, you only take every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can harvest the sweet corn. So corn is growing so fast. The maize is growing so fast. That's why you need a lot of water, a lot of nutrients. You apply your nutrients until when you see the silk come out, you stop. You don't need to spray anymore. Why then the 220 to 50 ebook states that we do second spray after 6 weeks? Well, this is 6 weeks, 4 weeks is basically your seedlings. If your seedlings is too small, 2 weeks or 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, it's I don't know if I made a mistake on the 4, 6 weeks. I don't remember, but normally you firstly spray or second spray after 6 weeks. Okay, it's after six weeks after the I see it must be germination. I forgot what I put. But you need the first spray. You see the plant is large enough. If it's too small, you don't need a spray, and you cannot spray. If you spray on the leaf, you will not cover the leaf. You lost. So you got a large enough, and after 6 weeks, I guess must be 6 weeks after planting. So it's actually maybe 2 weeks after your first spray. Sugarcane. What about sugarcane? It takes about 8 months to harvest. If the full application are enough to sustain the growth. Yes, you don't need when you onto the sugarcane until getting enough height, reach the top, your desired height, kind of like you already stop. You in the earlier time, sugarcane we only harvest the vegetative food. We harvest the stem. So it's take the most important your soil, the pre-plant base fertilizer or base nutrients have to be enough. Then you spray. You 18 months Well, you take 18 months. When I plant my sugar cane, it's not only in the summer it's finished. Why you take 18 months? Different place, different thing. If you, I need to find out why you. Okay, let me find out, do some more work on the sugar cane. 18 months, that's much surprise to me. Okay. I used to plant. I don't remember how many months I planted. It's not sugar, not 18 months at all. My hometown is the winter time totally kill everything, nothing alive. So nothing more than 6 months. You have 18 months. Okay. Any other questions we can discuss? It's good you can ask. We can talk a lot, ask a lot of questions. We can just discuss and we find out. If I don't know, I make sure explain, find out, and I will talk about more next time. Sugarcane 18 months, I'm not sure why.
All right, thank you so much,
Okay.
Professor. Thank you. Mr. Bootman sent me quite a lot of photos shared by the Kenya distributors and farmers about different crops. So, Mr. Bootman, would
We
you
can
like
see it.
to? Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, we can see
Bootman,
it.
I think we can take a time to share this next time. And by the way, I'm going to send all these photos to you, Professor. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you so much for today for uh for being tuned in. So Mr. Budiman, can you please kindly close today's presentation?
Yes, okay, Madam Reni, actually the photos that I've been sharing to you, we have two WhatsApp group in Africa. Each and every WhatsApp group, we have like 1,000 people inside. So I always encourage everyone that if they have any good result after applying Nutriplant Organic Plus Fertilizer, I told them to take pictures or even make a short videos and then share in the WhatsApp group. So lots of different of our distributors, not only from Kenya, also from Zimbabwe, also from Zambia, and many other places. They keep sharing anytime they have a good result, they share in the group. So that's why we keep having lots of new pictures about the good harvest because of using the Nutriplant Organic Plus fertilizer. All right, Professor, thank you so much for your training,
Okay, I have
especially on the.
okay, one more one thing. I see one question is very important. Are we doing
Yes, please.
any good to do the soil if we can still put chemical fertilizer at base? That's what a good question. And for the soil, in the last 1,000 or 2,000 years, we never put a chemical fertilizer in it. We only use organic fertilizer. Right now, we have been using the soil. Our expectation is very high for the crop yield. And when we need to go back, use organic fertilizer only, we may need to take 30 years at least to change the soil nutrients. Right now, we only we had some experiment. We use only organic fertilizer or combination with the conventional fertilizer or only conventional fertilizer. We find all different. The best right now at term in the current soil structure, current agriculture expectation, current nutritional level profiles, we still need kind of two legs Use some conventional, some organic. We don't have enough. If you only use organic, you may don't have enough nutrients for get a high yield. If you continue adding a lot of organic into soil, your soil is full of nutrients. Back to the original situation. Take many years. My soil, my garden soil, I used to change it like 20 years. I'm not putting the organic chemical fertilizer because I have been working on it almost 20 years. So you need to watch your soil. If the soil's nutrients is not enough, you still want a high yield. If you only use organic fertilizer only as a foliar application, you may don't get a high yield as you want. So that's why right now we have to use 2 legs to compare, get the best deal. Take a long time to back to the ecological organic agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you. If you have any questions and anything that you would like to share with us, please kindly send them to Mr. Budiman or send us to your managing directors. So we're going to share all this materials with Professor for him to make a good preparation for the next presentation, which is coming after 2 weeks. So thank you very much for being with us once again. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much, Professor, once again. We see you after 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank
all.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Madam Rainy.
Thank
So
you.
we'll see you
Bye-bye.
again in the next 2 weeks. Okay.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Madam Rainy. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Goodman. All right.
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr. Mbogo.
Thank you, Dr. Mbogo. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Reni.
Thank you,
Mr.
Madam.
Goodman.
Okay.
Thank you,
Madam
Madam
Macharia.
Macharia.
Thank you, Madam Rainy. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Budman.
Thank you, Ms. Ambewe.
And Professor, thank you for being available for us.
Thank you.
With regards from Zambia.
Bye bye, Professor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Professor. And welcome back to Kenya.
Bye.